Hey, Dan Lucinski, Dark Angel Cutlery. And I'm here in the shop today just wrapping up a couple of knives here. I've got a customer that's coming here at noon, so I've got just a few minutes before he gets here, and I want to do a brief video just to share what I've created for him. Uh, um, these are very artistic pieces. I think all of my knives that I create are artistic pieces. To me, I'm not just making a cutting tool, I'm making a piece of art, something that will be an heirloom piece that will be handed down for generations. It's very important to me that my customers see and understand that about my cutlery. So I made a run of 5 EDC knives out of random pattern Damascus steel, and I wanted to make one of those that was stood out from the rest because this was for a Native American friend who has put his faith in my work. Very, very humble and gracious man. He purchased a Bowie from me a while back, and he very much loved the Bowie and loved the work. And I wanted to continue the relationship with providing him something very unique. He told me that he wanted to purchase one of the EDC knives for his wife and one for himself, and I went one step forward with the knife for him. So he had something that was a little different from the other ones that were made. I also customized the knife for his wife as well. I shared one the other day, one of these EDCs on my Instagram. It was a cross draw sheath, so each one kind of had its own personality and stood out from the others. Even though they were the same pattern knife, it was the same random pattern Damascus, and sloped handle EDC. This is the blade that I made for his wife. This is olive wood handle like the others. This is a wet formed sheath. It has some antiqued brass hardware holding on the 10-ounce belt strap on the back. Super tough, super strong. You don't have to worry about that falling apart on you. And just a very beautiful blade. I really do. I love these. I believe in the work, and I believe in what we're doing here. There's our custom Dark Angel Cutlery pin at the bottom. Brass hardware. As I said, random pattern Damascus. And just really nice olive wood handles. I really do. I love olive wood. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful wood. It just comes out gorgeous. And so nice little EDC package. Very sharp. Very easy to carry. It's super light. You know, I haven't weighed it, but I'm sure it's next to nothing. So it weighs less than a Big Mac. Yeah, so something I would carry. I did tool the sheath a little bit with some kind of like a floral and ivy pattern, or some leaves and some floral, but just something unique. Now, the one that I made for my friend here is what I call an arrowhead sheath, or an arrowhead design. Now, I wanted to, like I said, he's Native American, and I wanted to make something that really spoke to his culture and his people. And like many Native American sheaths or knives, there's some fringe on here. This was made from a leather split, so it's almost like a rough leather or a suede. Splits are the piece that, when they are making suede, when they slice the width of the leather down, the split is the piece, the unfinished piece that's left behind. So they take the suede portion, they make their suede, and that's usually like a thinner material. But then the split, the rough, thick, heavy leather, is used for a lot of different things. So it's often used in the width of the sheaths when we make like a taco style sheath like this. There's a track in there that the stitching goes into. It protects the stitching from being cut by the blade. A lot of times I'll use splits for that. And yeah, so I used this is actually this suede, or this fringe material that's coming out. This split is actually the track stitch seam as well. And I did a track stitch on this, so I didn't use a sewing awl. I just laced this through back and forth down the track of the stitching. And I used a heavy leather cord, which is something I usually don't use with my stitching. It's super strong, super heavyweight, and very tough. I also used a 10-ounce strap that's actually like, boy, I want to say this is like 3/8 wide, so it's just under a ½ inch wide, and it is super thick and super tough. So this is a really strong neck worn sheath. He said that it was very common in his people would wear their knife around their neck, so I wanted to make him something that represented an arrowhead, and yeah, and a sheath that he could wear around his neck rather than on his hip. So yeah, the blade itself is a little different than the other ones. There were 2 of those 5 blades that I made with copper hardware. So you can see there's our custom pin there, which is stainless with copper, and that pin goes right through. It's mirrored on both sides, and these are actually book matched scales. Actually, I don't think these are book matched, but they're very unique scales from one side to the next. There's a lot of character in these scales. Again, olive wood, but I believe some of this is from the heartwood, so more toward the center of the olive wood tree. But beautiful, beautiful blade, beautiful, see if I can get that in there, yeah. Beautiful random pattern Damascus, polished up that nickel nice, but it's also got a really deep etch, so you can feel the character in that etch, and yeah. So, really like it. Gotta gave the handle a satin finish on this with tung oil, and then kind of buffed it out a little bit. Nice looking blade, nice looking finish for a really nice person. And yeah, so my Native American friend actually offers healing services for people who are grieving or in hospice. So he's a very genuine person, does a lot of you know, charity work, and you know, really kind work for people in need. So hopefully this speaks to him. I hope he enjoys it and understands that this was made from the heart, like all my work. But it is a piece of art. And thanks for looking, and thanks for watching my videos. Yeah, and if you're looking for something down the road, be happy to make you something. Just let me know. Probably make another run of these blades or something similar next. I'm going to be doing some hunting blades, and 52-100. I have an order for one, but we're gonna make a couple. I might make 2 or 3 of them, because it's just for efficiency's sake. I make more than one at a time now. When I'm forging, I always have one in the fire and one on the anvil, and I alternate as one heating and one is being forged. So it makes sense to have at least 2 going at once. If I make 3, I can screw one up and not feel bad about it. Well, I'll still feel bad about it. But anyway, the other thing I wanted to share was when I seal my Damascus, I use this Flitz, and this is just a shameless advertisement. I'm not getting anything from Flitz for telling you this, but this is a rifle, gun, and knife wax. It's a kind of similar. It's like a carbonuba wax or like a car polish, very similar, but there's some other stuff in it too. It actually does have carbonuba in it. Yeah, non-abrasive, solvent-free, no buildup, shines and protects against fingerprints, powder residue, rust, blood, water spots, tree sap, safe on gun bluing, polishing. So it's safe on gun bluing, and that was really the reason why I use this, because when we etch our Damascus, we're actually bluing the Damascus. We're etching it in ferrochloride, but then I do a gun bluing coat over it. But either way, that's like it's like an etch or an oxidization on the steel, and most solvents will clean that right off if you coat the blade with that. So you have to use something that's safe on that. This is a wax; it'll seal it from rusting, and because we're using high carbon steel in Damascus, it can rust. And I can't tell you how many customers I know have bought a Damascus piece and come back and been disappointed that they had rust on their blade. It's high carbon steel. Like with any high carbon steel hunting knife, it needs to be oiled, it needs to be treated regularly. You can't leave it in a leather sheath because leather holds moisture. Something to know. If you're going to carry it in your leather sheath for the day, when you get home at the end of the day, wipe down the blade with a product like this or something else. This they actually don't wipe down with it. You coat the blade and the handle with it, and you let it dry on it, and then you buff it off just like a car wax. So great product. But like I said, you can use oil, you can use whatever. You can use vegetable oil. If you have a Damascus cooking knife or a chef knife that you bought from me, use vegetable oil or use coconut oil. Coconut oil is an even clearer oil, and it goes on very thin. You just take a thin coat on a paper towel and wipe down the Damascus when you're done using it. And you know, for a chef knife or cooking knife, you're rinsing it off in water afterwards. It's going to be wet. You don't want to let that steel corrode. Don't stick it in a knife block damp. Just take some olive oil, wipe it down, and then slide it in the knife block or put it in your drawer, whatever you're going to do with it. But always treat your high carbon steel and your Damascus steel with oil or some type of product that will seal it and prevent any corrosion or rust. That's all I got. I wanted to really drive that one home because it's important. And yeah, it's if you're gonna buy an heirloom blade or something that's a collector's item and something that's been custom made, something that somebody's put a lot of work into, care for it and know how to treat it and yeah, and it'll treat you well and it'll last you lifetimes to come. Be able to hand it down to your kids, and your kids will hand it down to their kids, and there'll eventually be a story behind it. But thanks for tuning in again. I appreciate you watching and supporting my videos. If you're a customer of mine, I love and appreciate you supporting my passion and for my art. Hope to have some more blades coming down the pipeline soon. I've got a couple big Bowies in the works, and like I said, a 52-100 ball bearing steel hunting knife. 52-100 is a great steel. I've only worked with it once or twice, and I'm very much looking forward to making this hunting knife for somebody who is a dear friend. And so that should be coming up next. Peace, love, and happiness. Dan Lucinski, Dark Angel Cutlery. I'm out.